Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Very short reminder today. How do you say reminder? Because you already know these things. Nothing new. Just to refresh our minds regarding what we already know, what we've already heard. That's why it's called a reminder. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to guide mankind, to establish peace. Sometimes peace has to be established through fighting, right? Sometimes you have to fight to establish peace. Islam is not a passive religion where people can be doing all sorts of wrong things and crimes and we just sit back. So where there's wrong taking place, wrong is corrected verbally, and if that fails, then wrong is corrected physically in order to establish peace. Like you have the police officers do on the streets. Some criminal offense, there's some violence taking place, they try to calm the situation down verbally. If not, then they'll get the baton out or they'll get the taser out. If it's more serious, armed police will come. And if they need to shoot, they'll shoot. Right? They'll escalate matters. They don't just stand and say, oh, please don't fight. Please don't rob this shop. They will escalate and use physical force in order to do what? Establish peace. It's not a strange thing. Generally speaking, the Muslims have always been outnumbered when it comes to battles. And you need all the people you can get. Having said that, Battle of Uhud, the Prophet ﷺ instructed Hazrat Usman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu to stay home and not join the battle. Why? Because the wife of Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu was ill. And she was the daughter of our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the Prophet ﷺ instructed him, you stay back and look after your wife. As opposed to doing what? Going and fighting in the battle. Where the Prophet ﷺ was fighting in that battle as well. Everybody wanted to be there. But yet the Prophet ﷺ said, more important than battle is what? You looking after your wife at this moment in time. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us regarding the battle that it's not for all of the believers to go forward and forth for battle all at once. وَمَا كَانَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ لِيَنْفِرُوا كَافَّةً. Not all of the Muslims, not all of the believers should all go for battle all at once. Sounds strange. We need all the people we can get. We need all the hands we can get. We need all the people and men on the battlefield we can get in order to give ourselves a chance of victory. But is victory in numbers? No. Victory is not in numbers. Victory is by the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a mistake that the Sahaba made, thinking when they won the battle of Badr, they were smaller in number. Then they thought, okay, Uhud is done. And they lost that battle. So victory is not in numbers. Victory is by the assistance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Almighty says it's not for the believers, all of them, to go forth for battle at once. So what should the ones remaining behind do you think? Don't say, oh, look after their wives. That was a specific scenario where the wife of Hazrat Usman, Sayyidah Ruqayya radiallahu anha, was poorly. She passed away at that time as well. So it wasn't just a cold or she was ill, and then that illness led to her passing away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, not everyone should go. So if he's saying not everyone should go, what should happen? Some people should remain back and not remain at home, not go out for battle. What should they do, those who remain? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, for they should separate from every division of them a group. So imagine you had 10 divisions, 10 different groups. If you think from a Bradford point of view, from each BD area, there comes forth an army, a detachment. Yeah? So BD1 has a detachment, 1,000 people. BD2 has 1,000. BD3 has 1,000, like that. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here is that from every division, a group of people should remain behind. Just to clarify, Allah is not mentioning Bradford and BD in the Quran. Just in case you guys think that BD3 has been mentioned in the Quran. I'm just giving an example of a group, a division from each area, and a group from that division. Not one person should remain behind, a group of people should remain behind. What should they do? They should obtain understanding in the religion. They should learn deen. They should teach deen. Obtain understanding in religion and warn their people when they return to them, that they might be cautious. So what's being said here, ultimately what is being mentioned, the virtue and importance of knowledge. Somebody has to set themselves aside and be like, I will take care of the knowledge side of things. I will sacrifice my career. I will sacrifice being a martyr. I will sacrifice going to the battlefield. I will sacrifice my desire to be with the Prophet ﷺ in order to preserve and spread knowledge. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here that this group of people should remain behind to do what? Understand the religion, so that when the army comes back after the battle, they can be reminded of the religious rules and laws. So of course, some of them will pass away, become martyred. Some of them will end up coming back. When they end up coming back, they may be physically have won, but the spiritual battle still continues. They may have saved their lives physically and come back alive, but now they need to save their lives spiritually. Because a human being is not just body, it's body and spirit. Because if everybody went to the battle and nobody remained behind to protect and preserve and spread the deen, then what are they coming back to? Might as well be dead. There's nothing left. There's no one to teach the religion. There's no one to preserve the Quran and preserve his teachings and pass them on. So the extreme importance of knowledge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah At-Tawbah, again, that not everybody should go for battle all at one go. Some people should stay behind. So imagine there was a war, world war, and a Muslim, proper, legit Muslim army was involved. I wouldn't have to go and fight. I'd love to, but I would have to stay back and learn and teach the religion. So good luck to you lot. Or do what you need to do. I will, inshallah, remind you when you get back after the battle. The importance of knowledge is there. Look, people are going to go and die. But these people have been told what you've got to do is even more important than that. More important than winning that battle on the battlefield with more people is that you preserve and protect the knowledge. And this verse of the Quran was one of the turning points for me, thinking that why shouldn't I try to be one of those people who tries to learn and protect and preserve the deen? Why should I just think, oh, somebody else will take care of it? Because that's the problem. Everyone thinks somebody else will take care of it. Everyone thinks somebody else's son will be the imam. Somebody else's daughter will be a teacher. And no one does it. No one's interested. Then people are like, oh, I can't find an imam who speaks English. Well, they don't fall out of the sky, do they? Or I'm looking for an ustad to teach in the madrasa. They don't fall out of the sky either. People need producing. They need supporting. They need, given that support to do what they're doing. People have desire, but they don't always have the ability. Sometimes they have the desire, but they don't have the means. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is encouraging us to learn the deen, to teach the deen, and telling us that the most knowledge is even more important than fighting in the battlefield. So the people would remain behind, so that when the people come, they can return back to them, they can teach them the religion, and they can continue their lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us all to value knowledge and implement what we know, to protect our imams and the imams of our children. وآخر دعواكم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا